Doctor Strange 2 is one of those movies with a long and troubled production history, which was further hampered and delayed by the 2020 pandemic. And to no one's surprise, the movie turns out to be another entry into a long line of bland and forgettable superhero movies. Remember Iron Man 3? Yeah, me neither. In this video, I want to highlight 3 major issues which prevented me from getting invested in the characters and enjoying this movie. Hi, I'm Pat, and today I'm gonna take a look at Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. The movie starts out with a decent action hook. Judging from its idea and execution standpoint, it was good, but still failed to garner my interest and get me excited for the story. It provided all the exposition and setup it needed in a simple and timely manner, but it was sadly also hella generic. Big bad evil tries to capture the damsel in distress and the hero must swoop in to save the day. There's no nuance or subtlety. From here on out, the movie goes mostly downhill with one or the other highlight. The movie's premise can be summed up as a run-of-the-mill Mcguffin chase. The biggest gripe I have are the disproportionate stakes regarding the established motives. Wanda, an avenger, turns out to be the main villain and she wants her children.
I'm going to leave this reality and go to one where I can be with my children.
I have not seen Wandavision and I am not going to watch it. Therefore, I am completely out of the loop. So, getting invested in her motivations to destroy or take over the multiverse or whatever she's trying to do so she can acquire her children is completely random and illogical to me. Tying the movie to the TV show was without the question the wrong choice, as this only gets in the way for an average moviegoer who's not fully invested in the MCU to enjoy the movie. Don't get me wrong, I'm familiar with the House of M storyline on which this movie is loosely based on, but within the context of the established MCU, I am completely lost. I don't understand why she wanted those particular boys from another universe at all costs, or for that matter what exactly her plan was. Was she going to kill her other self and replace herself? It really felt like she or the writers had not properly thought things through. Why did she have to acquire Chavez's abilities in the first place? Chavez is clearly able to open portals for other people to go through. Needing the Scarlet Witch to possess her powers is an exercise in futility, as the anticlimactic conclusion later clearly proves again. If Wanda was able to contact her, why not strike a bargain? Offering Chavez a deal to find her mothers in return for opening a portal would have been a more logical approach to the situation. They rationalize her asinine actions as her being reasonable, which is just lazy writing, because it makes no sense from start to finish, if you give it a little bit of thought.
You have no idea just how reasonable I've been.
Conjuring creatures to abduct a kid, I don't exactly call that being reasonable.
The Scarlet Witch seemingly goes nuts out of the blue. Is she acting that way because of the influence of the Darkhold? Yes, but it's only implied. Nonetheless, it's a very unsatisfying motive and just shifts the blame away from her in the sense of an MUI, murdering under the influence. America Chavez is a lesser-known, unpopular character from the comics. She's been around for 10 plus years and is unpopular because she's wildly overpowered. Powers are toned down in the movie because there'd be no movie if she could fly, move at the speed of light, teleport at will, and disintegrate people with a single punch. So that was a good call. The bad thing is that she's nothing more than the Tesseract from the first Avengers. The Tesseract was the box with powers, while she is powers in a box. The movie spends no time on her aside from the brief glimpse into her past when she and Doctor Strange happen to walk down memory lane in an alternate universe and come across the Expositron 9000. The subtlety is really on the nose with that one. The exposition in the movie in general was handled as gently as a sledgehammer to the face. Her unimportant backstory influences the plot in no meaningful way. The writers didn't bother introducing the character of America Chavez properly and put no effort into making her likable. Most of the time she just spends locked up or captured somewhere. Toward the end of the movie, Doctor Strange gives her a speech, something akin to "The movie is ending, the writers have written themselves into a corner, fix it please." Invigorated by his speech, she of course powers up on the spot and punches the Scarlet Witch into the next universe, where she's shown the errors of her ways. Also, let's not kid ourselves here. The sole reason Powers Mcguffin is in the movie is to appease the Latin community in an ironically demeaning way. Nothing more, nothing less.
La neta, de los dos Doctor Strange que he conocido, tú no eres mi favorito.
Which means?
The plots are all over the place. The writers help themselves to a bunch of storylines from the comics, like the aforementioned House of M, Incursion Event, Darkhold, The Book of Sins, Blank kills the Marvel Universe, Marvel Zombies, in a sense, and then there are horror elements which to me felt strangely out of place, no pun intended. If you ever felt like plots seemed superficial and disjointed at times, that's the reason why. It's a patchwork of storylines haphazardly coupled together. Wanda literally killed the Illuminati, which are clearly big players in the respective universe, leaving a power vacuum behind. But the universe served its purpose, and thinking of the ramifications of her actions is too difficult. Therefore, the movie just ignores any and all of what she's done. I personally believe a story more centered around Strange, what it means to be a Sorcerer Supreme, and delving into the Marvel Universe's magic would have been a far more engaging story than the odd Mcguffin chase we got. Something more character driven, where the morality of a sorcerer is put to question, like, should one learn dark sorcery if it helps you protect from threats, or can one individual become too powerful? I like the Darkhold and its equivalent, the Book of Vishan, but they were merely used as power boosters rather than influencing the plot and characters in a meaningful way. The movie hints at repercussions the use of those items have, but never really shows what that actually means.
The Darkhold exacts a heavy toll. Okay.
Anyway, it goes without saying that I was thoroughly disappointed with the movie's patchwork plot. Regarding a rewrite, there's not one thing in particular that, when changed, would have improved the story in a significant way. The story was structurally sound and well placed and well directed. The conflict resolution was satisfying enough. I came across a blog post suggesting a longer runtime would have benefited the movie, which I partially agree with. More time could have been utilized to flesh out the characters, explain their motivations, and more importantly, conflicts. But it wouldn't have fixed the fact that the movie was a boring Mcguffin chase. With the multiverse at stake, it'd still be a very disengaging movie, to me personally at least. A good progression of stakes is something I haven't seen in a movie in a long while. The movie largely ignores magic and sorcery aside from the Scarlet Witch's boring insta-kill abilities, except for the fight at the beginning and the one scene I truly appreciated and enjoyed, the music battle. That scene made me think how cool a Sorcerer Battle Royale movie would be, where Sorcerer Supremes are abducted from different universes and put into a morbid game show where they have to survive all kinds of dangers using their sorcery creatively. I know a similar storyline like that exists, where a villain from another dimension creates a game show similar to American Gladiator, abducts superheroes from Earth and forces them to compete in it. I can't think of the comic, or I might be remembering some details wrong, but I would have loved to have seen more crazy visuals, cool VFX, and more creative sorcery battles. When it comes to a visual experience, Multiverse of Madness is unable to hold a candle to its predecessor. There are 2 points in particular I'd like to address, but first I wanna say, given the movie's troubled production history, I had low expectations. When I heard America Chavez was gonna be in it, my expectations dropped even lower. The movie met those expectations, which sounds positive, but isn't. The no magic problem. Doctor Strange is a master of the mystic arts and is not a conventional superhero. He normally faces evils of the supernatural kind, but the movie took a more trite damsel in distress route, much to my dismay. This second movie should have delved deeper into the supernatural and occult within the Marvel Universe, but instead we got disappointing B-horror jump scares as a substitute for it. Accelerated death of a genre. With a ceaseless onslaught of, at times, subpar superhero TV series and movies, the market is rapidly becoming oversaturated. The broader public interest in the superhero movies is waning as we speak, and I'm afraid it won't stop there. Low quality products of lesser known franchises with a cult following will be released in the hopes of making a quick buck, which in turn will ruin those franchises' reputations for a broader audience. Eternals is one such example I can think of off the top of my head. It could have been great, but they ruined it with bad writing and virtue signaling right off the bat. Superheroes are still popular, but in due time people will come to strongly dislike them. This puts to the risk of otherwise cool stories associated with the superhero genre and comics, such as Invincible, The Boys, or The Umbrella Academy, to be eschewed by the public once they find out they are comic book related. With that said, I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Please share your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, try another one. And if you'd like to see more, subscribe to the channel. If there's something that you think needs improving on my part, I'd appreciate it if you'd let me know. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again.
It's over!